Okay, this is the interview with Ignacio. So he is from Argentina. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. Just went to work, did my stuff. Now I'm just chilling after work.
Nice. So I want to talk to you about food today. Um, you know, I know Argentina has a rich culture of food, and you're the best person to ask for this. So, what was your most common food growing up?
Well, definitely Asado. But just to give some little context, it's basically just a bar. It's barbecue, basic pretty much.
Hmm.
But the way we do it here is that, from what I understand, in America, you just get some steak. Everyone gets a steak, and that's how. Or you get burgers or whatever. Here, everyone sort of shares a little bit of the same, of a bunch of different cuts. So you have colita, lomo, and matambrito, and essentially you're putting all these things on the grill, which is more. It's with so you do it with coal, but there's no actual fire when you cook. It's more so just the heat from the coals cooking everything quite slowly. Not too slowly though.
Mm.
But yeah. So generally when we do asado, it's everyone eats a little bit of everything. You have some cheese and some cold cuts, a little bit before, so you're not starving while you're waiting, and you eat it slowly, bit by bit, as the day progresses, as the meal progresses, and this is usually a lot to eat. Sometimes more than just meat, since you have vegetables and a couple other like roleta, which is melted cheese, which is really fucking good. Um, but that's pretty much the most common thing I had growing up,
Hmm.
and still to this day, it's the most common food I have.
Hmm. So, out of all of these cuts, what was your favorite?
Oh fuck.
No cursing.
Straight and that's a fucking killer question.
Okay.
But straight cut of meat, it's probably lomo. Just put that shit between two slices of bread. Oh my god, dude! Every day of the week, no question about it.
Uh-huh.
But I like everything. I'll literally eat anything on the fucking grill. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. So, let's not curse.
Sorry, my bad.
All good, all good. So Lomo is closer to like a New York strip here, right? Or do
Yeah.
you think it's more of a like a prime cut, like something like a loin?
Uh, I'm not 100% sure because we don't because when we get the cuts, we don't get pieces of steak as you would in the U.S. I don't know what part of the thing we just they give you like a whole slab.
Mhm.
Essentially, it'd be the uncut version of a steak,
Mhm.
and you just cook with the entire thing.
Mhm.
So whatever you have left after that, keep if
Yeah.
there's anything left.
So that's one
But
that's one of the big differences because in the US traditionally, not traditionally, but just very commonly you have uh pre-made um cuts that
I
are
mean,
done by
yeah,
a butcher, but in places like Argentina, you get your prime cut of like the hunk of cow or the hunk of pig.
yeah.
So, you talked about asado. Would you say that's like a defining Argentinian food?
Oh, 100%. It's like literally, it's the thing you have for any occasion. Your birthday, asado. Christmas, asado. It's fucking. Oh, God, I did it again. Sorry. It's Saturday, asado. Like, just.
Hmm.
It's the dish you have for any reason, any excuse. Like, you want to get together with your friends, asado. Like, it's just the meal here. Like, the most
So,
common way to find anyone. Yeah.
so, in the US, there isn't really the pre-built asado grill, the parrilla,
Mhm.
that you guys have in Argentina. So can you describe what a parrilla is?
So okay, so basically the way it is you have a off to one side, it can left or right doesn't really matter, but you have a well, it's essentially the fire pit where you put a bag of coal, you put some fire underneath it so that the coals start burning up and they'll fall through the little has little grilled area, and they'll fall through, and then you go slowly moving the hot coals under the actual grill itself, which generally has
Hmm.
like a pulley that you can move up and down so you can regulate the heat a bit more.
Hmm. To
And
make it
so
more clear, the parrilla
mhm.
is an actual installment in the house, and it's not like a traditional American grill where you wheel it
Yeah,
in and out of your garage or something.
it's a little bit difficult to do that with parrilla.
It's
It's generally inside, stuck in a wall.
yeah, it's
So you
it's
build a
more
wall around
akin
it.
to having a um, Vesuvian pizza oven in your restaurant, but it's for every house. And most houses in Argentina have an inbuilt parrilla.
Yeah, pretty
So
much. Even apartments, like it's
yeah,
amazing. With tiny little balconies are like small ones. It's crazy.
so the history of the parrilla comes from ancestrally the Gauchos, which were the Argentinian ranchers. So what can you tell me about Gauchos?
Well, like I said, they're mostly they're cow herds, and they generally do more of the animal husbandry type of stuff. But for them, what they generally did is for them the parrishas were pretty rustic when they had to go out. And so what they do is they have a thing called it's called a cruz, which is not even a grill. It's just a giant. Well, it's a cross where when they ever kill an animal, they just string that thing up on it, put it over the fire or the coals, and then they cook it that way. Which is something that's still done to this day on parrishas and stuff. Though it's a little bit more complicated because getting a cruz for that is it's not easy. But that's generally how the gauchos would do it. And I've had some like my dad actually makes sometimes. Not here when we go out to the mountains, or when
Hmm.
we go to the because here a lot of people have farms or they know farmsteads they can rent, and so they all have fire pits and that kind of stuff. You can generally still cook that stuff there, and so yeah, that's sort of how they used to do it. Now they moved more towards parrillas because they're a lot easier. They're not because cooking a cruz is really hard. It takes a lot of time. You have to slow
Yeah,
cook it really over a long period of time.
I can imagine. So
But it's all very
the cruise you're talking about was also mainly used to preserve meats because they were primarily
yeah.
smoked. So when the Gauchos would have to traverse the hundreds of miles across the Argentinian
Mm-hmm.
plains to herd their cows, having a stable source of food that was
Very
salted
important.
and smoked and preserved was a godsend. Hence the
Mm-hmm.
cruz cross.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. Yeah.
so compared to other food cultures in South America, why do you think, or why do you believe the asado is so special?
It's probably just because it's the idea of the asado, from at least from my experience, is that the idea of it is you get together with people and you all share this one big meal. There are
Hmm.
other comparable foods like the paella in Spain to an extent, but in Argentina, it's a long the asado is it's all about the family. It's all about some people bring some meat, someone else brings this, someone else brings that, and then one person puts the house and they put all the certain things, and it's about coming together, literally sharing food because no one person can have just a thing unless they don't like anything, they don't need anything. That's very strange to happen.
Hmm.
Um, but it's the fact that it's a meal to share with the family and share with the people you love and you care about. It's something that you will do no matter what. General like even if this I have vegetarians in my family who still come and they'll bring vegetables, they'll bring things they can eat, and or we'll sort it out with them. But it's a matter of bringing everyone together. Like from what I know about the rest of South American culture, it's not something that's seen as much. Like there's there's family food. Like you'll get together to eat with your family. But I guess the most comparable thing would be American Thanksgiving. But even then, it's still something more special because Thanksgiving is once a year.
Hmm.
It's something you do often and you want to do often.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's a special thing. You have, like it's you have to I feel like you have to experience it to
Yeah,
really like understand how special it is.
yeah. So, in your experience, outside of the band of Latin American countries, have you found a food culture that celebrates this asado as in the coming together of family in the same way, or even just the fact of having an asado itself?
Um, Not necessarily like salads and barbecues the same way. Generally, from when I lived abroad a lot, like barbecues are more like not really as big of a thing. Like the most it was just like people, you cook something, you eat together, and that's about it. Like the cooking of it, like and hanging out by the grill with the family wasn't as big a deal.
Hmm.
Um, like even with friends, it was just like, okay, we're gonna get together, cook some stuff, like cook some burgers, some chicken, and that's it. That's as far as it would go. Um, which is nice. Like don't misunderstand, but it's definitely not the same. Like I personally haven't seen anything comparable to the Asado.
Um, so now a more present day question is, you said the asado is something you have to experience for yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
we've both lived abroad, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we can both say that the asado in the way that the Argentinians do it and have it in their homes is something unique to Argentina.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's for sure.
like it truly is like such a great coming together of people and food and just sharing the culinary history of Argentina and
Mhm.
the everything. It's just great. What I'm trying to get at is, why do you think it's not such a widespread common thing in the world?
So that's asking me a tough ass question, but I mean I don't know. Genuinely, it's like my wager would be that I don't know Argentina just something that we've done forever. It's a thing we continue to do forever, and it's tradition, so it's something that's going to keep happening. But also more than that, like people here are very sentimental and family oriented and friend oriented. Like everyone know like I have cousins who know people from other schools just because they have a friend who knows a friend who happens to know my other cousin and they all know each other. And so like a lot of communities are very tightly internet through like sports, through sports, through going clubbing, through hobbies, through whatever. And it's and Argentina as a whole is surprisingly interconnected, where people will know someone who goes from here, who goes from there, and who lives in the middle of nowhere, but
Mhm.
somehow still knows everyone.
Mhm.
And it's just I don't know, just it feels like it's an integral part of Argentina where everyone sort of has some connection to someone else, and they always want to share that connection, and always tell like in some way feel connected and connect with everyone else. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very
No,
weird
that
and
was a
cool.
good, really good answer. Um, I'm gonna ask you one last thing: is during COVID-19, how how was the culture of the Padilla changed?
It was a little different. Like during the when it was like hard restrictions, we just couldn't meet up. I think we had a couple days, like 1 or 2 days, where we just Zoom called, so we like the family would talk and whatnot, and we had like an asado in the back.
Mhm.
More of us like a hi look at us, we're doing asado, and you guys aren't kind of like flexing on each other kind of thing. Um, yeah, it definitely was a little not as like I missed it because I missed the good food and I also miss the family and like it's the one kind of family gathering that everyone can always get behind because you're going there, you're gonna eat good food, you're gonna be with people you care about, and it's not like you're compromising them to go to some restaurant where you're not sure if anyone's gonna like the food or you're going to some theme park, whatever.
Mhm.
You're going somewhere homely, you're going somewhere where you're gonna be safe, you're gonna be like happy, you're gonna be with people you care about. And yeah, COVID definitely kicked you in the nuts for that. But once things started slowing down, it was just like it's a free for all now. We're gonna go whenever we can go,
Mhm.
with some restrictions. Generally because it's outside, we have to put some distance between ourselves. But it was still nice. Like once things we were able to meet up again.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, thank you, Nacho. Those are all the questions I have.
Yeah,
Uh,
no problem.
I hope you have a good day.
Right back at you.